Sorry, I'll have to quickly cut across to Prime Minister Modi's live visuals coming in from Bharat Mandapam. This is Prime Minister is all set to now inaugurate the AI Impact Summit 2026, which India is playing host to. Now, remember, it's going to be based on three important critical messages and themes. One, of course, of people and progress. And we are also looking towards transitioning from a position of dialogue over to building AI ourselves, bringing in that capital at the same time. And in fact, you can expect a flurry of guests from all across the world, many of them including tech billionaires. You can expect the presence of Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta. All of them will be descending at the Bharat Mandapam in the days ahead. It's going to be a week buzzing of activity. On the other hand, you also have political clout being displayed by India. This as the heads of states all the way from west to east are going to be here, as will be the French President Emmanuel Macron. As far as leading South Asian countries are concerned, Brazil's President Lula da Silva will also be part of this entire event, as will be the Sri Lankan President, is what we are being told. United Kingdom being represented by David Lammy, the Deputy Prime Minister of the UK, and their AI Secretary as well. Let's quickly go across to Payal, who will take us through what's exactly happening right now. So Payal, you know, the entire AI summit has been divided into various segments and sections. Where is Prime Minister right now and what is happening?
So the Prime Minister is in fact born there. He'll be inaugurating, the exhibition, etc., that you will see. Inaugurate the first day of the AI summit. It's a highly awaited summit that we've seen. People and delegates from across the entire country and across the globe are coming here, and it's expected to be kicked off in some time from now. And it actually focuses on how AI can strengthen employment and not take away jobs, and also the fact that panelists will emphasize on the inclusive access from vernacular platform to outreach of educational platform, mandatory impact of to assess the importance of AI in multiple levels. And Prime Minister, of course, will begin this today, marking the first time the Global Artificial Intelligence Summit of this scale is being hosted by the Global South.
And what can we expect in terms of the kind of, say, the three principles that we are talking about: people, progress, and even gathering, say, the kind of capital investment that India is looking towards attracting? Payal, which tech billionaires are expected to be attending the event?
Well, more than 100 countries have been invited, and with over 2 lakh participants have already registered, online. The world leaders from 20 nations are scheduled to attend. One of them includes the French President Emmanuel Macron, the Brazilian President, the Spanish President, the Dutch Prime Minister, and the UAE Crown Prince, Mr. Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Said bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan is expected to attend. So multiple people have been invited. The summit takes place at a very crucial juncture with artificial intelligence accelerating economic change, disrupting employment patterns, and intensifying the debates whether this is going to be good in governance, safety, and will have all the ethical boundaries in place. And to the first time, like I said, we're holding this summit here in Global South. Earlier, it is being held in countries like France, UK, South Korea, and in fact, they were all at a lower scale compared to what India is really trying to do. And Prime Minister will be inaugurating the AI Impact Expo today at the Bharat Mandapam in a short while from now. The AI Impact Summit will enrich global discourse on diverse aspects of AI.
Absolutely, and this is indeed a proud moment for India as it brings together forces from across the world, not just South Asia, but India, as always, leading its way as a leading voice of Global South, as has always been Prime Minister's priority since G20. But Payal, also take us through how Make in India is also at the heart of India's role as a host this time around, given that there were local conferences in the build-up to the summit today, whether it was in Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Meghalaya, Odisha. A host of conferences actually happened at the micro level as well.
Not going to be a platform only where only the big tech companies will be showcasing their prowess and their might, but there will be a lot of startups that will be given that route. Given the fact that India has been trying to build this ecosystem for a very long time right now, And in fact, it includes a lot of human capital, social empowerment, safe and trusted AI space, science resilience, innovation and efficiency, democratizing AI resources and AI for economic development and social good as well. That is something which is going to be the future of work, employment, skills and labor markets transformation. And India, mind you, is one of the biggest markets when it comes to human labor as well. So all of these things are going to be of very great importance, given the fact that the government will bring voices from research, industry and academics here, and also will be focusing on the AI-enabled employment platforms, emerging skills, workforce strategies, and how to educate systems that can adapt and prepare for the country of our magnitude to be AI-driven economy as well.
Stay with me, Payal. I'm also joined in by Siddhant on the phone line. Siddhant, take us through what this means, this entire moment, what it means for India at a time. It's positioning itself globally in the world economy. And so far, we've only seen dominance of the United States and China in the market.
Well, that's right, Akanksha. Look, it's a very, very significant moment for India because I remember maybe in 2016, 17, 18, we only used to hear these words: semiconductor, artificial intelligence, etc., etc. It was only in 2018 that for the first time Indian government, Niti Aayog for that matter, came up with some kind of a document on India's vision for AI, etc., etc. Then AI mission was launched by Prime Minister Modi. Semicon was launched by Prime Minister Modi. And now, look, we are in 2026 and India is holding this summit for the countries of Global South. Now, it is massive because India's outlook for artificial intelligence has really been transparent. India believes in democratization of technology, and India, despite being a developing country with such a huge population, is not hesitating to accept this technology. Perhaps that's the message which Prime Minister Modi is sending out to the world by organizing this summit. I remember, Akanksha, last year I was in Paris for the AI Action Summit, which was co-hosted by India and France. And all the European leaders were sitting there when Prime Minister Modi addressed the gathering. And the Prime Minister's message for the European leaders was, let's accept this technology. Let's evolve with this technology. Let's make people skillful. Let's not be scared of artificial intelligence taking jobs, etc., etc. The narrative which we keep hearing all the time. So that was a very strong message which Prime Minister Modi delivered last year in Paris. And look, today India is organizing this mega summit.
Right.
In fact, the countries from Global South are also participating. In fact, this morning, Akanksha, I was interacting with some digital ministers from some countries, and they say that they are really banking on India, because if the work that India has done in AI, perhaps, if we take example of digital public infrastructure, now India is ready to share that with the countries in the Global South. So the work that India has done, the other countries are not required to do that, because India is ready to provide them with that technology. So that's the outlook of India. That is the approach of India, and this is the reason that this summit is being welcomed by everyone from Global North to Global South. And India has also very strategically positioned itself as a bridge between Global North and Global South, because Global North has been developing the technology and selling it to Global South. So that is something which India wants to change. India wants the equal participation of the countries from the Global